Hi everybody, we are discussing about the non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the next non-communicable disease that is entitled as coronary heart diseases. Coronary heart diseases. So in this, the first type of coronary heart disease is known as angina pectoris. Angina pectoris. Here, angina pectoris means it is the sclerosis of the coronary artery. Sclerosis of the coronary artery. So you have to remember, what do you mean by angina pectoris means? It is nothing but the sclerosis. Okay, sclerosis of the coronary artery. Okay, sclerosis of the coronary artery. So now, first we should understand what is this coronary artery, where it is present. What is this coronary artery or where it is present? And please remember, it is one of the most important artery that is present in our body, which is with the heart, or it is the main artery, or it is this artery which will be supplying blood to the muscles of the heart, or let us say directly, the coronary artery is supplying blood to the heart, supplying blood to the heart. Now, as we all know that every cell or every tissue in our body requires what? The oxygen and nutrients. And in the same way, even the heart also, if for pumping the blood, it also requires the oxygen and also the nutrients. So for that purpose, here from the heart, we know that there is one blood vessel called as what? The greatest blood vessel, aorta. So this aorta is actually branched into many arteries. Okay, aorta is the greatest blood vessel that is coming out from the left ventricle, we say, and this particular aorta is branched into many branches. Each one is called as artery, which will be supplying blood to the tissues or cells in our body. And the same way here, one point that we have to keep in mind is that from the aorta, the first artery that arises is the coronary artery. Okay, the first blood vessel or the artery that arises is the coronary artery. It is this coronary artery which will be supplying blood to what? The heart. Okay, so heart also requires what? Blood. So for what purpose? It is this coronary artery which will be supplying oxygen and also nutrients, okay, to the muscles of the heart. Okay, oxygen and nutrients to the muscles of the heart. And of course, from the heart, there is another blood vessel that is coming outside called as the vein, which is nothing but coronary vein. Okay, coronary vein. And this coronary vein will be collecting what? Or collecting the carbon dioxide that is released during the metabolic activities. And this coronary vein will also collect what? All the metabolic waste that is formed in the heart. And it is collected by the coronary vein. So here what we have to understand is the word coronary artery. Okay, coronary artery, which is very important one. Now, it is this coronary artery which will be becoming hard and stiff. So when it is becoming hard or stiff, it cannot supply sufficient blood to the heart. It cannot supply sufficient blood to the heart. So here we use the word sclerosis. So what do you mean by the word sclerosis? It is the hardening. Okay, it is the hardening of the arteries. Okay, hardening of arteries. Okay, hardening of arteries. Okay, is called as what? The sclerosis. Okay, is called as the sclerosis. So once the hardening of the arteries or sclerosis of the coronary artery occurs, it causes pain in the chest. It causes pain in the chest. So we say that this is the complete chest, we say. But please remember, this pain starts from the center of the chest. What is that pain? Here, the disease, under the disease which we are saying it as what? In the angina pectoris. So in the disease, angina pectoris, okay, they will have pain in the chest region. But that pain will be from the center of the chest. And that pain from the center of the chest, it will be radiating towards the left arm. Okay, it will be radiating towards the left arm. That is a very clear indication that we should keep in the case of angina pectoris. Please remember that the pain starts in the chest or from the center of the chest and it will spread to the left arm. That's a very, very clear indication to say that he or she may be suffering with what? Angina pectoris. Angina pectoris. So pain in the chest. I'm using the word maybe because in all the cases it may not be the angina pectoris. Sometimes, but maybe because of various reasons, the person may suffer with pain in the chest. So it is not compulsory that we have to conclude that it is angina pectoris. So if it is angina pectoris, compulsorily they will have pain in the chest from the center radiating to the left arm, and at the same time that pain in the chest is associated with the restlessness, fear or anxiety. At the same time, a pale skin can be seen in that person and profuse sweating. The person will be sweating a lot, and it can also lead to vomiting. It can also lead to vomiting. And this pain will last for only few minutes. Okay, only for few minutes only they will have this pain. Okay, few minutes. This is one thing that we have to keep in mind. Only for few minutes that pain in the chest will be there. Again it will stop. It indicates that he or she is suffering with what? Angina pectoris. Okay, he or she is suffering with the angina pectoris. So the next one is coronary thrombosis or myocardial infarction. Okay, myocardial infarction. In short, we are calling it as MI. Okay, in short, we are calling it as MI. In this case, again, it is related with what? Coronary artery only. Okay, let us remember that it is also related with the coronary artery. Okay, related with the coronary artery only. As we already said that coronary artery is supplying what? It is supplying oxygen. Okay, it is supplying oxygen and nutrients. Okay, it is supplying oxygen and nutrients to what? To the heart. Okay, it is supplying oxygen and nutrients to the heart, and which is very, very essential. Which is very, very essential artery. But here, in the case of coronary thrombosis or myocardial infarction disease, what happens is, if this is the blood vessel, okay, let us say that this is the coronary artery, okay, this is the coronary artery we say. See here, the flow of blood, okay, is moving. It has a particular lumen, okay, the pathway for which the blood will be moving. But suddenly, sometimes, what happens in the case of this coronary artery is, there will be blood clots that may occur. So blood may clot and block the passage. Okay, blood may clot. So what is happening now? Here there are blood clots. Okay, blood clots. So due to the clotting of blood which should be supplied, okay, to the heart. Okay, let us say that here is the heart. Okay, for which what should be supplied? Blood should be supplied. But here, due to the blood clots, blood cannot move, okay, through this coronary artery and can be supplied to the heart. It cannot supply to the heart. So what happens now to the heart? It is deprived of oxygen or the nutrients. So here heart, okay, is supplied. Okay, heart is supplied. Okay, heart is supplied with less oxygen. Okay, less oxygen. Of course, even the nutrients also. Okay, even the nutrients also. In such cases, there are chances that he or she may suffer with what now? Heart attack. They will suffer with heart attack. So this is also a very dangerous one, which is caused due to what? The blood clots. In which one? The coronary artery. In the coronary artery. If these blood clots, okay, if these blood clots are identified early, okay, early, then for treatment, okay, for treatment, they will be administering, okay, or they will be administering the anticoagulants, okay, anticoagulants. Please remember this. Anticoagulants will be given for the patient who is suffering with coronary thrombosis. Okay, in minor cases, when it is detected or identified in the early stages, formation of what? Clots, then they will be given anticoagulants. These anticoagulants can dissolve what? The clots and extension of these blood clots. Means they will prevent the formation of blood clots. Anticoagulants prevents what? prevents blood clots. Okay, and anticoagulants prevents blood clots. So they will be given in the case of for treatment. Okay, so here what we have to remember, simple point that we have to remember under coronary thrombosis, or otherwise called as myocardial infarction, or MI in short, is that this is a disease which is related with the coronary artery supplying blood to the heart, and in this blood vessel, if there are blood clots, then the heart is deprived, or the heart is supplied with very less amount of oxygen and the nutrients. In such cases, it may lead to heart attack. It may lead to heart attack. So, when it is detected in early cases, the treatment that is given is that he or she, or that particular patient, is given anticoagulants. These anticoagulants prevents the blood clots, and also extension of those blood clots, means they will not, these anticoagulants will not allow the formation of blood clots. So this is what we have to remember when we discuss about coronary thrombosis. And the next disease we are going to discuss is rheumatic heart diseases. Rheumatic heart diseases. In short, we are calling it as RHD. RHD. And this is also called as in simple we can call this as poor man's disease. Okay, poor man's disease. Please remember this. Okay, poor man's disease. Okay, poor man's disease we are calling it as. That also we have to keep in mind. And here the causative agent of this particular disease is Streptococcus bacteria. Okay, Streptococcus bacteria is the most important one that causes this disease called as rheumatic heart diseases. Please remember, the main causative agent of rheumatic heart disease is Streptococcus bacteria. Streptococcus bacteria. And in this disease, what we can observe is that the main cause, okay, what happens in this disease is that that particular person or patient suffers with acute rheumatic fever. Acute rheumatic fever means what? Prolonged fever. Okay, the person will be suffering with prolonged fever, and he or she may have joint pains. Okay, they will be suffering with joint pains, and also they will have infection of throat. Okay, infection of throat. So these are the main causes that we can see when a person is suffering with what? Rheumatic heart diseases. Rheumatic heart diseases. And when a person is suffering with acute rheumatic fever, there are chances that here what happens is that mitral valve, okay, mitral valve and or the aortic semilunar valve, okay, aortic semilunar valve will get damaged. Okay, semilunar valves will get damaged. Okay, so we know that mitral valve or semilunar valves are very important. They will be opening and closing as the blood is passing through, to prevent the backward flow of blood. So we know that valves will help in preventing the backward flow of blood. But in this case, when a person is suffering with acute rheumatic fever for a prolonged time, as we said, that it can lead to what? Damaging the mitral or aortic semilunar valve. Okay, aortic semilunar valve will get damaged. So not only damaging the mitral or aortic semilunar valves, it can also cause another one. Please remember this as known as pericarditis. Okay, pericarditis, or otherwise another one is there called as myocarditis. Okay, another one called as myocarditis. These two are also caused. Okay, in the case of rheumatic fever. Means what? Pericarditis and myocarditis means we already know that heart is made up of muscles called as what? Pericardium muscles. Okay, heart is made up of pericardium muscles, we say. So these pericardium muscles are of 3 layers. Okay, pericardium is of 3 layers, we say. The outermost layer is called as epicardium, and the middle layer is called as myocardium, and the innermost, the 3rd layer is called as endocardium. Okay, epicardium, myocardium and endocardium. So when a person is suffering with this rheumatic heart disease, we can identify that they also suffer with what? Pericarditis and myocarditis. Means the pericardium, okay, the pericarditis means the pericardium and the myocardium will get damaged due to the viral infection. Okay, due to the viral infection, both can get damaged. Okay, both can get damaged, and the heartbeat will not be taking place in a rhythmic way. And the person may suffer with this problem, which we are calling as the rheumatic heart disease. Okay, rheumatic heart disease. So we have to remember the pericarditis and myocarditis. So let me be very clear here. These two I said that viral infection. Okay, viral infection. So what is pericarditis? It is the three layers. Pericardium we are calling it as. Okay. So when the pericardium is infected with any virus, it may be showing swelling. Okay, it may be showing swelling and irritation. Okay, swelling and irritation, which is not good. Okay, which is not good. So because of this, okay, we can say that this is one cause in the case of what? Rheumatic heart disease. Okay, rheumatic heart disease. So swelling and irritation of the pericardium is called as what? Pericarditis, which is because of what? Viral infection. At the same time, it is also another one which we are saying myocarditis. It is also what? The damage of the myocarditis because of viral infection. So we have to remember all these points when we discuss about the rheumatic heart diseases. So here, acute rheumatic fever. Okay, acute rheumatic fever. This, okay, is seen more where there is a bad housing. Okay, where there is bad housing, overcrowding. Okay, overcrowding. Okay, and inadequate hygiene means, let us say, less hygiene. Okay, if they are maintaining, okay, less hygiene in these areas. Okay, in these areas there are chances that acute rheumatic fever can be caused. It is simple that when we are not maintaining hygienic conditions, there will be spreading of diseases because of the more growth and development of what? The microorganisms. So these microorganisms may be there more and can cause the rheumatic heart diseases. Okay, rheumatic heart disease. And please remember, this particular disease, rheumatic heart disease, is seen in India even in those people who are less than 20 years. Okay, less than 20 years. Okay, this is seen more in the people or in the children who are less than 20 years. Okay, in India. This is in India. Maybe because of poor sanitation. Okay, maybe because of poor sanitation, we are seeing many people who are less than 20 years suffering with this disease called as rheumatic heart disease. That's why, because of all these bad housing, overcrowding, less hygiene, that's why we are calling this disease also as what? Poor man's disease, or otherwise the clear word. Okay, we can write it here as poor person's disease. Okay, poor person's disease. Okay, poor person's disease. Okay, exact word you can remember it as poor person's disease. Okay, so this is what we have to remember when we discuss about the rheumatic heart diseases. So the next disease is stroke or cerebrovascular accident, we call it as. We also can call it as CVA in short. So what happens in this is, when there is interruption of blood flow, to the brain, maybe because of what? Block in the cerebral blood vessel or rupturing of the cerebral blood vessel. Okay, the blood cannot be carried to the brain. Okay, blood cannot be carried to the brain. In such cases, it can lead to the very drastic thing called as paralysis and also loss of speech and etc. Okay, these are the two things that can happen due to the rupturing of what? Cerebral blood vessel or block in the cerebral blood vessel, and which can lead to interruption of blood flow to the brain. So when the brain is not supplied with the blood brought through the cerebral blood vessels, maybe because of the block or rupturing of that blood vessel, it can lead to paralysis and loss of speech. This is again we have to keep in mind as what? Stroke or cerebrovascular accident. So these are things that we have to keep in mind when we are talking about the non-communicable diseases. Thank you.